So would you like to first introduce yourself?
I'm Barionessa, also known as Beryanga, the one who made Absolution, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And I am the sole creator of it. I made all of the writing and all of the coding.
Wait, you did everything by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How long did that take to, if you remember, how long did it take to make chapter 1?
Yeah, Chapter 1 took me about 4 months.
Quite short. Was it like every day that you were working, or was it like you had off time?
Yes, I worked every single day, at least 50 to 100 lines.
That's crazy, wow. Was Absolution your first mod that you ever made?
Yes, it was even my very first story, one of the bigger stories that I've ever made. Main inspiration for Absolution was the mod called Salvation. Yeah, a lot of the writing was, I feel like I rushed some of the parts and I didn't like how I wrote certain parts of the mod, which is what I even said myself on the stream.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like the way that the mod starts is a little rocky, but it's a really cool idea, and I like the fact that it quickly establishes everything. It's cool that the MC has a mission, and the fact that he's like, alright, we gotta do this, and there's like a little bit of stakes involved, like there's a little bit of like worry. It's like, oh no, this isn't that. And then the middle section obviously gets it goes a little bit downhill, but the ending is definitely where it shined the most, in my opinion.
The way I did it, I had a certain points of the plot already thought out and knew how I wanted to do it, but I needed to connect them, and that's the problem. The connection is where the writing was a little bad, but compared to what I was when I made chapter 1 to what I am now when making chapter 3, it's just, you cannot compare those two. Those are two completely different people with two completely different experiences.
That's cool. We love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that. That's awesome. Yeah, because as you kind of mentioned, like this was your first big project and all that, and it's definitely, even though I've said a lot of stuff at the end of my stream when I was almost done reading Absolution, I said a lot of things because I was just visually like upset and frustrated, because it's a lot of cool ideas. It has a great foundation. Definitely the problem is the fact that a lot of it was never really realized, and a lot of it was just extended for the sake of no reason. I mean, the fact that you're able to improve so much in such a short amount of time is applaudable. Like that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Well, the way I work is that I learn slowly but master very quickly.
That's cool.
The way how it was done is just, I learned everything. I listened to the people who didn't just hate on my mod. I do realize the difference between criticism and hating. Criticism, but that's good criticism. And I will learn from you as well. And from all those other people, I have learned and applied to chapter 2, and a lot of people liked it way more than the chapter 1.
We love that. So I heard you briefly kind of mention chapter 3. Is there going to be a chapter 3?
Yes. So I did take a huge break because I started to play video games a little bit more. There will indeed be a chapter 3. I'm like 45% done already and have it all thought out. Even though I'm not sure, I think I can just try and fix that up and to make it like completely natural and way better than even the chapter 2. I am not promising anything. I can promise that it's gonna be better than chapter 1 in every way. Other things than that, I cannot say.
Why exactly did you write MC super stoic and like super serious all the time?
I actually think I just focused a little too much on the fact that I wanted MC to just explain to the girls a lot of things, and I wanted him to just save them from the problems, and then I didn't really think about the other things make him do and make him say. I think I would exactly say that he has absolutely no personality, because he does say some things that some people would never really say. So he has some traits and some character to him, but for the most part, I don't think I wrote him exactly how I wanted to.
How exactly, that's a question, how exactly did you come to the idea that the MC is going to like come from a different dimension to try to save the Dokis?
This part is a little strange, but I always wished to create some sort of a story where there was a character who just wanted to leave his world for another world. It was because he was just not respected in his world. He just didn't feel safe. He didn't feel like he was home. So that's why I wrote him like this. So he's coming from another place where he just wants to escape from his world and find safety and find peace in a different world, which is exactly the DDLC world.
Was it hard trying to like write a character like who has powers and he's trying to go throughout the DDLC world? His powers are barely like talked about or shown, and there's a few weird lines where it's like, oh, hold on, my eye color changed, let me change it back, oh, it's a magic trick.
To be honest, I don't think it was exactly difficult to write him. I struggled with Yuri and Natsuki the most, I would say, but in terms of him, yeah, I did really struggle with Yuri and Natsuki, but I would say that him and Sayori, and even though in terms of these powers course, connected to MC, I would say these two were the easiest for me. I just knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I want them to say to each other.
That's crazy. Wow, I'm surprised because, like, as I said, like, at least in my opinion, Yuri was like my favorite in I almost said season 1 in chapter 1.
I mean, everyone says something else because I was told by some people that Yuri wasn't exactly good. They loved the way Sayori was made. Some people loved the MC so much. Like, they really loved how he's smart and how he realizes what's wrong and how he can always save the world. And some people will say the exact opposite. And some people will just, like you, they will say that Yuri was perfect while the MC was not exactly good.
And you kind of talked about this, and I even talked about it with some of the people in chat and during the live stream when I played it. Is the MC supposed to be a self-insert? Because, like, I think everyone was shocked when all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, let me change my name back to my original name. And then all of a sudden he's called Barian? Like, that was crazy. So, like, is he meant to be kind of like a self-insert?
Even though at first I did plan to make that. Maybe this is not good. Maybe I should just make him his own character. But I could not turn back exactly because he was already called Barian and I just made that idea out of nowhere. I don't actually know why I chose that. But that's why chapter 2 exists, because he actually has a different name. He is not exactly called Barian. Barian is the name he's hiding under.
Was Monika always meant to be like this overwhelming force to the MC and be like the overarching like kind of antagonist throughout the entire mod? Because like in the beginning, Monika is meant to be like a menace. Monika is like the ultimate evil, but then like it quickly changes to being shown that Monika is just misunderstood.
I actually am a double-edged sword in this because I feel like I want to give her some redemption, and I wanted to write her in a way that she is indeed not evil. I don't think that she is evil, but I do know that she made a mistake and she could have done better. So that's why I wrote it like this. Evil from the beginning, but she does turn good. So that's why in chapter 2 she's already way friendlier towards everyone. Don't know if you noticed, but I made a big mistake in chapter 1, and that was I didn't make Sayori question him a lot more, because he after all did come in place of the MC and he just basically replaced him with himself. So embarrassed that I wrote it so stupidly like that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I definitely want focused on, because like at least from the other mods that I've seen and the way that a lot of people like to portray Sayori, she's smart. She's a little clumsy, she's a little dumb sometimes, but overall like she catches on to things very quickly. That would also give MC a lot more personality, because like he's trying his hardest to imitate someone when he can, especially with all how kind of broken he is from his previous like world. So like I would love to see that like that back and forth between him and Sayori, and just him like kind of breaking down and being like, I'm not your friend, I'm not who you think I am, because that would be a really cool scene.
I do plan to make something like that, and I think I want to make him seem a little hopeless at times, to make everyone know that he is not perfect at all. He does have his own flaws, and he does have his own weaknesses and problems and trauma as well.
If you have any advice for any new writers out there who want to, like, I don't know, make their own project, write their own book, or like do anything, do you have any advice that you would give them? I mean, I'm trying to make my own project as well, so like, do you have any writing advice for me and for everyone else?
If you wish to write, go ahead. But if you feel like you don't want to write this hard that you're currently writing for at least a while, you should take a break. You should never force yourself. But at the same time, you should keep in mind that you have to write something. If you really want to write, you can't see yourself stuck in one position, because then, as Monika says in the game, you will get a big black bottle of ink. You have to write something. Yeah.
It's okay to write badly, because you are gonna look back on it and reflect and just get way better. How did you even find out that I was streaming it? Did you just randomly put on YouTube, be like, is anyone doing this?
No. Sometimes I do that, but I was told by someone from Team New Beginning, if you've ever heard of that team. They pinged me, checked out the stream that you were playing my mod indeed.
Wait, so what? I had a fan out there? No way. That's crazy. That's cool, actually. That's crazy. Yeah, because like we were all like, I don't know if you remember, but like we were all so shocked when he showed up, because like one person called it too. They were like, oh yeah, imagine like the person like actually comes in and they hear you talking shit about it, and I was like, no way. And then like 5 minutes later you join, it's like, oh shit. But yeah, I guess I don't really have much more to ask. I don't really have much more to say. If you want to shout out any more projects you're doing, or just shout out anything out, if you have a channel or anything.
Well, I do have a channel, of course, same name as the name I'm known for. I only made like menu for that, and then I made some new other things, not really DDLC related, but I do have the main menu there, and I plan to release the chapter 3 main menu as well for the preview, which is so far the nicest one, I would say. Well, that's probably all.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming to this interview and let me pick your brain about an old project that you had.
Thank you for your time as well. I'm glad I could be interviewed.